The saga of the Trojan War, a Bronze Age clash between Troy and the Mycenaean Greeks, lies at the intersection of history and legend of ancient Greece and has inspired a myriad of ancient writers, including luminaries like Homer, Herodotus, Sophocles, and Virgil. Since the 19th century revelation of Troy's location in present-day Western Turkey, researchers have unearthed substantial evidence suggesting the rise and potential destruction of a kingdom around 1180 BC. This discovery potentially set the stage for the stories Homer narrated centuries later in his epics Iliad and Odyssey. As per classical narratives, the seeds of war were sown when Trojan prince Paris either abducted or eloped with Queen Helen of Sparta. Feeling wronged, Helen's spouse Menelaus enlisted his sibling Agamemnon, the sovereign of Mycenae, to spearhead a campaign to retrieve her. Legends speak of Greek heroes like Achilles, Odysseus, Nestor, and Ajax rallying behind Agamemnon. A gargantuan armada of over 1,000 ships from different Greek territories then journeyed across the Aegean Sea to Asia Minor, laying siege to Troy and demanding Helen's return from King Priam of Troy. Fun fact: Homer is occasionally depicted as a visually impaired bard because his name resembles the term for blind in certain Greek dialects. An interesting segment in the Odyssey features a sightless bard narrating tales of war, leading some to believe it might be a self-referential nod from the epic's creator. The prolonged blockade, marked by significant confrontations and including the legendary demise of Trojan prince Hector and the nearly unbeatable Achilles, spanned a decade. The turning point arrived when the Greek forces appeared to withdraw, leaving behind a colossal wooden horse near Troy's entrance. After much deliberation, and despite the forewarnings of Priam's daughter Cassandra, the Trojans transported the enigmatic offering into the city. As darkness settled, the horse's belly revealed its secret: a band of Greek soldiers, under Odysseus's leadership, emerged and laid waste to Troy from the inside. Post the Trojan downfall, Greek champions embarked on their prolonged return journeys. It took Odysseus a decade, fraught with challenges, to finally reach Ithaca, a tale narrated in the Odyssey. Helen, who had seen both her Trojan spouses perish in the war, went back to Sparta to join Menelaus in rule. Following Menelaus's demise, some tales suggest she was banished to Rhodes, where a bitter war widow orchestrated her execution. Tales of the Trojan War. The real-life Homer remains shrouded in mystery. Scholars pinpoint the crafting of the Iliad around 750 BC, and the Odyssey approximately by 725 BC. Both have roots in oral storytelling and were penned possibly years or even centuries post their origination. Many renowned episodes, from Helen's capture to the Trojan horse's stratagem, are sourced from the epic cycle, a collection of tales curated in the 6th century BC, drawing from elder oral traditions. In the 1st century BC, the Roman poet Virgil penned the Aeneid, another monumental epic influenced by the Trojan War. It chronicles a faction of Trojans under hero Aeneas, journeying from their ruined homeland to Carthage, eventually establishing the foundations of Rome. Part of Virgil's ambition was to bestow upon Rome's premier imperial lineage a Genesis tale rivaling the grandeur of Greek lore. Was the Trojan War based on reality? Interpreting the Trojan War tales historically poses challenges. Many central figures are direct descendants of Greek deities. Zeus, in the guise of a swan, fathered Helen by ravishing her mother Leda, and the narrative often intertwines with divine interventions. For instance, Helen's affection for Paris is ascribed to Paris adjudicating Aphrodite as the fairest goddess, choosing her over Hera and Athena, in return for a golden apple, as depicted in the Judgment of Paris. Extended sieges did transpire during that epoch, but formidable cities typically withstood only a few months, not an entire decade. In 1870, a grand excavation was conducted at the believed site of Troy, steered by the German archaeologist Heinrich Schliemann. This exploration unearthed a citadel mound with 25 meters deep of layers of rubble. Subsequent research identified over 46 construction phases, organized into 9 strata, illustrating the site's occupation from 3000 BC to its ultimate desertion around AD 1350. Recent digs have exposed an inhabited zone around 10 times the citadel's size, classifying Troy as a prominent city of the Bronze Age. Evidence from the Layer VIA, dated roughly to 1180 BC, showcased burned remnants and sporadic skeletons, indicative of a violent siege that could have provided the groundwork for parts of the Trojan War legend. By Homer's time, for centuries afterward, remnants of this devastation would have remained conspicuous.